Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be going over the most important question asked by any prepper or survivalist. How much ammo do you really need for an SHTF event? The truth is, there is no one size fits all answer, but stick with me as I break down the facts, share my perspective, and help you make the call for yourself. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, before we start this video, I want to go ahead and say this is all hypothetical and it is intended for your Minecraft server. So do what you will with that. Okay, the type of event you're going to be preparing for, that should play a heavy role on how much ammunition you're going to be stockpiling. I wrote down 4 examples here. The top one's going to be a foreign nation occupation. For that one, you're going to be wanting to carry stockpiling the most ammunition, along with natural disaster, nuclear EMP, and an economical collapse. Now we'll go ahead and dive in a little bit more detail on the situation at foot. Another thing that's going to be playing a heavy role in your stockpile and thought process is going to be long-term or short-term events. These two boxes have uh, events that have taken place throughout the world in the Minecraft server. You have the invasion of Ukraine, the invasion of Israel, the Great Depression for these long-term events. The top two, the invasions, are going to be your heavily used ammunition events. If you stay tuned, if you've followed up on any of the events, you know how much ammunition has been used in these two events. Now, the Great Depression, it was a long term event. Now, for the ammunition needs for a long term event, such as a Great Depression, would be hunting, gathering food for your family, for yourself. We live in a society today where nobody knows how to grow anything. And I fear if we have another Great Depression, nobody knows the knowledge of the people back in 1920s and everything else. So I fear that if another Great Depression happened, you would need a little bit more ammunition to protect yourself, protect your loved ones, and protect your community for the simple fact that nobody really knows. They can't rely on themselves. They rely on the government, they rely on their phone, they rely on the internet. If another Great Depression happens, you're going to need a little bit more ammunition. Then go over short-term events. We have Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Katrina, and the LA riots in 1992. I'll go ahead and start with the LA riots in 1992. As you guys well know, LA is a highly dense populated area. Uh, People in LA have a little bit more different morals and values than, say, people down south or all along the southern United States. And it's a sad reality and it's the truth. The Hurricane Katrina, when it happened, martial law was enacted. They rounded up all the guns. There was also heavy looting. Hurricane Helene, there really wasn't much on the news about looting or anything like that. Now we'll go into hypothetical. We have long-term hypothetical and short-term hypothetical. Now for long-term, we're going to go over EMP, economy collapse, and civil war. Now, if an EMP event happened, the ex-CIA director said 90% of the United States population will be deceased within the first year. With that, looting, people taking desperate measures to get the resources they need, or just the elderly that don't have the medical attention that they deserve. Economy collapse right now in the world and how everything's going on, that's a very good possibility. And that can also play a role in your ammunition stockpile with hunting needs to provide for your family and food. And of course, civil war. Civil war is going to play a huge role on your stockpile needs between ammunition if you're going to be involved in the Minecraft Civil War or if you need to protect your loved ones, your family, or your community to stay away from everything. So think of the long-term hypotheticals. And don't forget about the short term. We have riots such as LA, Hurricane Katrina that happened. So those are also short term. And down here we also have hurricanes, which that could still be a possibility. Okay, so now we have the capability of the round, and I'm going to be going over my stockpile and everything that my thought process behind it, and I hope it helps you guys form an opinion for your stockpile in your Minecraft server. So we have hunting, personal protection, and long range. Now for hunting, I've set aside some soft point bullets that aren't hollow points and they're not full metal jackets. These are going to be rounds that I use specifically for hunting, and it's not going to be a major, huge amount like I have for personal protection or long range. It could be a 50 rounds, a couple hundred rounds. It all depends on your area, how much game is around you, and what you intend to do with your stockpile. Personal protection, these Personal protection long range, I have stockpiled up quite a bit of ammunition for these two scenarios. I have bow tail hollow points along with full metal jackets. I'm running a 18.5 inch barrel, so I'm getting the velocity I need for full metal jackets. Long range, it is a very niche and controversial topic in the prepper community, and I think it does play pretty much only one specific role if an event happened, and that's going to be a civil war within the Minecraft server. So for the long range, I've set aside quite a bit of rounds of 75 grain bow tail hollow points to accomplish this goal and this goal alone. So think about these three categories: what you intend to use, your area, if there's game around you, if you're able to take long range shots, or if you're not. These are things you're going to have to take in consideration for your stockpile. Okay, now we have population. We have high populated areas and low populated areas. This should play a huge factor on your stockpile needs. And I'll go off topic here just for a tiny little bit. If you go online, you can type in your area and the statistics on the crime rate in your area to see what are the more occurring crimes that are happening, because during an SHTF event, those crimes that are occurring right now are going to go through the roof, such as assaults, home invasions, and so on. So with low populated areas, you're still gonna have criminals, but it's not going to be the extent to a high populated area. Statistically speaking, if more people live there, you're gonna have more criminals, and so on and so on. So this population should play a huge role in your stockpile needs. Now for long gun and handgun, long guns are going to be more capable. You're going to be able to do a little bit more stuff than you are with a handgun. Handguns do have their place and they do have their time for an SHTF event. For long guns, you have two types of ammunition that are mostly stockpiled. You have full metal jackets and hollow points. Full metal jackets is going to be generally cheaper than hollow points. If you're wanting to go that route and stockpile, hollow points are going to be way more effective than full metal jacket. Now you can have a 20-inch 5.56 and you're going to be able to shoot full metal jackets. It's still going to be effective, but hollow points are going to be a little bit more effective, in my opinion, than full metal jackets. Now we have handguns. Handgun ammunition is always going to be cheaper than long gun ammunition. Now, here's going to be where it gets very controversial. I do believe you should be stockpiling hollow point ammunition for your handgun. I don't think you should be stockpiling full metal jacket rounds for an SHTF event. And I'll tell you the reason why. Full metal jackets are intended for range use, for target practice. They do have their time and they do have their place, but for defending yourself, defending your loved ones, I really do believe you should be using hollow points. And there's going to be the argument, well, the United States military has used full metal jackets for years. Yes, but if the Geneva Convention wasn't a thing, you can bet your rear end they'll be using hollow points. Now for the conclusion part of this video, there was two main factors that played a role in my stockpile thought process. The first one was the event. I did a timeline between the 1920s to now, and I looked at every major event that occurred. There's a saying that says history always repeats itself, and I'm a firm believer in that. The other one is population. I live in a low population area of roughly 2,000 people, and it's slowly dwindling from the economy. Most of that is going to be elderly people too. Now, if you live in a highly dense populated area, you're going to be looking more in depth at the crime statistics rate in your area. That's just the facts that need to be said. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment down below, and I hope you stay tuned for more.